Hi everyone, it's
Hello.
Peter and
The other Peter.
the other Peter, Eddie, still Eddie. Yeah, everyone knows you by now. You know you're famous.
Probably.
And we are back on this Suzuki project. This is the next episode. Finally, we found a few days. Sorry for being a bit late with the update, but
When
live.
was the last one? July?
Probably, yeah,
And now it's September.
September. Well, I was on holiday. You were busy with one French car. Then I got back. In the last 4
Yep.
weeks, we were flat out. You might have seen a couple of videos from the French when the Insignia was around, and all these cars came from abroad. So we had really tight deadlines. There was no wiggle room. But now we found a few days. Well, I could have filled these days up, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Because I equally have the stress of putting a system in the Suzuki, not just because we need a cheaper demo system, but also some people realize that, how is your wife? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah, you need something to play there. And you can't just put a Bluetooth speaker.
I get enough nagging from her too, that we had the car for so many months now, more than half a year, and
Yeah.
we haven't got a system in it. So we have to crack on with it. So enjoy this upcoming video and you will see what we do in the trunk. So this is what it looks like without the floor panel that we are not going to keep. There's absolutely no need for it. But I wanted to show this to you because in a previous video I showed when I was moving the door, you could hear the rear flap vent. And you don't want to hear that, especially if you want to build a competition car. You don't want any noises even at lower levels. So this is where the pressure vent in this car is. Eddie ripped it out and then replaced it with a piece of rain guard, that foam that we use all the time for IB jobs in true IB.
Just to keep the dust out.
Exactly, so nothing can come in. And now we can start building the floor and go step by step. this is the point when we have to stop and show you in finer detail what's been done here. So the base plate has been bolted down at 4 points, as you can see, 2 each side, and they fitted rib nuts in the floor. And the sub box is just sitting on this platform. This platform then gives us a very easy option for having anything in the future here. If you ever want to change something, you know, put a different sub box in, different amplification, DSP or whatever, then it's easy to bolt to it and put threaded inserts in. So those 4 are for the sub box. Actually, if Eddie brings the box, then we can show the way it's gonna sit in. So after the mods, because we had to mod it a few times to have clearance for the rear seat to tip, we had to shrink it down towards the back. We didn't count the volume after the shortening, because before that it was 39, wasn't it? Or 40, nearly 40. 40, yeah. And then we cut it off a bit. So probably it's like 37.8 litre now for the GR13W3. For that sub, you would require, ideally, if you wanted a QTC closer to 0.7, you would need a slightly larger box. Probably the 12 would suit this box better. However, because we are going to be slightly limited on amplification power, the 13 is definitely more sensitive. We will see what the response is going to be like in this short car. It will be punchy, that's for sure. That simple box, we built it now from MDF. As you can see, the 4 holes, that's where the 4 bolts will go down to the floor. Now the box is carpeted all the way, so the bottom of the box is carpet on the board. It's not going to squeak and scratch and buzz, but to be fair, to the time 4 bolts pull it down, it wouldn't really make much noise either. But it's nice to isolate hard surfaces that I always mention everywhere. Power cables are already terminated, as you can see over there.
That's coming next.
Yeah, well, we have to put in the power distribution and then sort out the speaker cables. here is the simple trunk. Come on, Eddie, explain what you've done.
Just a simple box.
Well, they've seen everything.
Yeah. Sealed box for the sub. And then like a stand for the amplifier.
Because this way we have the power distribution underneath. Yes, if you have to get to that, you have to take the amplifier out or you have to tip it, which comes out with 4 bolts, as you can see, machine bolts into inserts. So actually, yeah, we could tip the amplifier up.
Yeah, easy access.
Get to the power distribution, and also we wanted to lift the amplifier up to have a more leveled.
Yeah, because we'll have a beauty panel at some point.
And then it would look shit if the amplifier was all the way down, so deep down.
Yeah.
Yep. So controller cable, optical input, which is going to come from the head unit once we get it, because there will be a head unit, but it has inbuilt Bluetooth, so we will use that for the time being. And for the time being, the remote is a switch line, power running from here to the front to a switch and coming back to the remote. But once we have the head unit, then it will run through the head unit.
Yeah, we'll remove
We can actually use that power cable for the switch. We will use that cable as the power for the head unit, so it's independent from the car. Yeah. And then we have common ground point with everything else at the back. But as you see, everything is terminated with ferrules, protected with heat shrink, labeled. The cabling is not fully tidied up yet, but that's the simplest anyone can ever really have in any car.
Yeah, simple box, square, nothing special.
It's a large sub, and in this tiny trunk it looks quite big, but let's say if you just had a 10 in a half-size box like this, you could even have space left in the trunk underneath the floor level for hiding your jack, things like that, which is not an issue in this car. We can put it anywhere really. So it's not quite finalized, but this is probably the end of this video, guys. Just a simple trunk build.
It's functional now.
Yeah,
it's gonna stay as it is for now.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get the grill, the factory grill for the sub, because they don't have it on stock in UK, and they said it may only come at the end of November. I'm like, yay! But we will design
Christmas present.
Yeah, but we will design a beauty panel that may be a separate part of this series, which is going to be simply about the beauty panel, how we design it, how we look at, like, you know, how it's sitting in place, giving clearance and a view for the sub and the amp, things like that.
LEDs, maybe.
LEDs, yeah. People always ask, you know, what LEDs do you use, Pete? Little things like that. Yeah, probably the carpeting of the box won't even be seen. But we carpet it for now, so it's at least tidier until we don't have the trim panel that I will have to do soon, because Mrs. is gonna kill me.
Yeah.
She wants to use the trunk.
Yeah.
For sure, actually, shit. I may have to use a date next week. Sacrifice a day for that. So now we have another job in this project. So look out for the next video, guys. Feel free to share it, comment, do the usual things, and then we will see you in the next one. Take care.